Yo, what's up, everybody? It's episode 3 of I.A Christianated. We're your hosts. Once again, I'm Alex.
And I'm Isaiah.
Thanks for being with us for episode 3. We appreciate everybody that's tuned in. So we got a pretty interesting topic today for you guys. But before we get started, we just gonna get a little icebreaker and start with some would you rather's. So Isaiah, the first question I got for you today, man, is
Talk to me.
would you rather, for the rest of your life, would you rather always be itchy or always be sticky?
Ugh. It just gave me chills thinking about it. Itchy or sticky?
Me
Because
personally,
sticky
I know
is
mine.
like, as soon as you get, like, I gotta wash my hands. I just feel kind of like disgusting.
Yeah.
But then
You want me to shed some light?
yeah. What would you? Yeah, you go first.
Me personally, I would rather be sticky. Being itchy is my number one pet peeve. I cannot stand it. Like, I feel like I'm about to scratch like my skin off sometimes when I be itchy. I hate being itchy. If I'm trying to sleep and I'm itchy, I can't sleep. I can't like enjoy my day being itchy. If I'm sticky, that's gonna stuck. Like it's not gonna be nice, but I can live with being sticky. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was ever say like if I jumped in somebody, like my body just felt like kind of sticky because I was dirty. But all right, bet I know I'm about to go home and shower. Like it'd be like irritating. I'm sticky. I'm not like, bro, I'm sticky. I gotta get this off of me. You know what I'm saying? Itchy. I'm like, bruh, like it's almost like I ain't gonna say it on the, but like how they be like it just I can't do itchy.
What you talking about?
The crackheads. They be like I can't, bro. I hate
Now
being
that I
itchy.
thought about it, I disagree because that's how I feel about being sticky. Like I can't go to sleep being sticky. Like I feel like something. I gotta be clean. Like I gotta not be clean, but it's like something like sticky. I'm like I feel so dirty. I'm like ugh.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta wash that off. Like itchy is like okay, itching is gonna suck, right? But I can keep scratching. I can take a warm rag, put it on there to help.
No, it's not going. It's never going away.
It's not gonna go away, but it's gonna ease it a little bit. Like to an extent, stickiness. If it is forever sticky, you could be in the shower for 30 minutes straight and come out still sticky. Like I would hate myself. I would hate
if you
myself.
always itchy, you could go through 2 bottles of lotion a day. The itch never going away.
That's not even about that. I could just
No cocoa butter, no Vaseline, nothing gonna save us, bro.
It'll lower it down some. you can ease it down. So take a little warm rag, lay it on your arm. It'll lower it. It might not be as hot, but you can lower it. You feel me? Like it's just like okay, stay strong. Let me stop itching. Or you can take your mind off it. You feel me? Something else to take your mind off.
I can't. For me, itchy,
I'll be
I
out
can't.
here all day like this. I'll be cool enough. I can do that all day. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, they gonna think you tricky just walking down the street. Just
Hey, man. I'm like, you know how that be. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you sticky. I'm just always just.
Okay, fair enough. I respect it nonetheless.
Yes,
Alright.
I'd rather be itchy.
Okay, I mean we'll just have to agree to disagree. That's fine.
You're just
All right, so the next question I got for you, man, is would you rather know when you die or how you die?
When? If I knew how I died, I would be paranoid. Like imagine, right? You're like, okay, sorry again.
And it could be when you 8 years old.
Like you said, you're 8 years old, now you're gonna have to petrified. Because you're gonna die to a car accident. Or like, let's say it's like somebody like drowning. I'm never gonna go again. I'm taking a shower, never gonna take a bath. Like you're gonna be so scared of anything that has to do with water. Like you said, it could literally be, oh, you're gonna die drowning at the age of 90. From 7 years to life, you're constantly paranoid. You're not gonna be able to enjoy your life. At least I know when. It's like, okay, I can know again. I can start getting my bucket hands off. I can have like a happy go. I can,
Even if it was 2 weeks, you can have the best 2 weeks of your life.
Exactly. I was like, hey, I'm about to be gone. Baby, bump it. I'm about to do whatever. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And like some night, say farewell to everybody. See some last nice song. Messages to people that you leave or whatever. Much easier, more peace, but going out. It's better to pray to
I would agree. But let that be said for the first time we have agreed on would you rather like this or that question.
Mind you, we've been friends for like 3 years. I think
4.
This is probably one of the first times we meet ourselves.
Yeah, facts. Alright, so not gonna know here. Yeah, she not gonna know like why she in prison until after she get out. So she just gotta be in there for 2 years. Like, why my brother just sent me to jail? Now that's $100 million. So you can still probably mess around to like no business though. So you can't go in and see her, but you can still pay to the guards here there, make sure she don't like get screwed over. You know what I'm saying? You like you're like okay, but for $100 million. Like she can get somewhere when she come out. That's life changing money. You never gonna see that $100 million again.
That's life changing, but so is going to jail.
For 2 years, it's not gonna show up on a permanent record.
Going to jail might be more life changing than $100 million. I'm not gonna lie. Like just mentally, like a riff. Like if she comes to that money, she's like, I don't even know what she went through all that. Like she can like, was that really? Like was my tears in my life really worth that? You feel me? Plus, my sister got a lot of things going on right now. So I ought to be stopping all that, putting her in jail. Like your life's really on pause for 2 years. Like especially my sister's in high school. So by the time she come out, she'll be graduated, friends, everybody else, different facets of life and all that. Like nothing can replace and take that away. That's 2 years of memories, birthdays, holidays.
So it's all right.
So many important things, and just like to have. And think about it. Even those 2 years, like $100 million, like a good amount of it. Like, how much would I be giving to her? Because by those 2 years,
as much as you want.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of stuff can be spent those 100.
Okay, so like, so the issue you got with the question is not the amount of money. It's just the fact that you send your sister to jail. The $100 million is cool. It's the fact that she got to go to jail for 2 years.
I mean, like, I don't think anybody would deny $100 million.
My next question, my further question was gonna be like, so is there anybody in your family that you would?
Man, there's a couple in my family that need it. Yeah, there's a couple people in my family that was sent to jail for 2 years. But like I said, but some people, by the time I showed them, gave them some money after, they're like, you know what? Okay, cool. But my sister, nah.
All right, so shout out Isaiah's sister, you safe.
And the crazy thing is,
you people else in this family, y'all gotta watch your backs.
The crazy thing is,
he ain't identified nobody, but he was thinking about you.
As crazy as it may sound, if my sister sees this, she's probably gonna be mad I didn't take the $100 million. Like I thought she's probably gonna text me or call me later and be like, you should have the $100 million.
My sister would probably say the same thing.
I about to say, what would you do?
Well, you see, I got 2 sisters. So
okay. Double it. Okay, on to the next person. $200 million.
For both of them? Yeah, $200 million for both? Nah.
$200 million for both of them.
Nah, I'd say like $100 million. You know, I split it up for $100 million. I let them both serve a year.
Okay, no, let me ask you this question, right?
Okay.
How about this? I'm gonna change your question to make it harder for you.
Okay, go ahead.
So, right, I'm gonna double it twice. I'm gonna square it, right? I think my math is right. Don't quote me.
That'd be like
I'm
a bill.
I'm gonna double it twice. Yeah, no, give me look. So 100,000, right? So look. So either $400,000.
$100,000. Okay.
And both should just go to jail.
For how long?
For 2 years.
Okay.
Or $100,000. You send one sister to jail. And you only send one of your sisters. And those are only
for the same amount of time.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Are you saying like I got to do one or the other?
Yeah. So either you can send one for $100,000. Again, like this.
So I can't say no to this question.
No.
Okay. I just wanted that to be clear for the camera. All right. Because I got an answer. I do.
You can say no.
I can say no.
No.
All right. So in reality, to being a good brother that I try to be, I would say no. But if my sisters was to get me irritated one day, I would send them both to jail. But here's why. That's $400 million.
Double homicide.
400 mil. I'm gonna spend like a good 2-3 robbing some officers in that facility. Make sure that they stay together at all times. Keep them safe, keep them protected. You know what I mean? Make sure that they, at the very least, always got each other, so that they can be able to lean on each other to get through it. And there's always God, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe
they're in 2 different prisons.
Oh, then I'm not doing it.
So
if they get sent, nah. That's where I draw the line. I'll send them to jail together, but I'm not sending them to jail separately. That's where I draw the line.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
Well, then the answer is no. Then I'm not doing it.
All right, we're getting. Either you send just one, or you send 2 of them to 2 different jails.
I'm sending neither.
You gotta choose one. And if you choose one, which one are you sending?
Okay. Stop. So now you're trying to get me to name drop my sister.
No. I'm not saying name drop. I'm saying you're older or you're younger. Don't start saying name.
They know which one's older and which one's younger. Did they? My sisters know.
They don't know.
Okay, so you gonna tell us which family member you sent away for 100 mil?
That's not my question. Well, you.
Nah, because you was trying to.
No, right.
All right.
I answered my question. Well, your question right now.
Nah, I couldn't do it.
One or both. You send two different.
I'd have to send one.
Which one are you sending?
I plead the fifth.
I
I invoke my Fifth Amendment.
I don't see a.
I don't gotta speak without a lawyer present. I'm not doing it.
No
I'm
gravel,
not doing it.
There's no
I'm
judge,
not
no
doing
jury.
it. I would say neither.
No
I would say neither. I love you both. Both my sisters, Helena and Olivia. I love y'all both.
I want
don't let nothing.
Both of my sisters. I want y'all to know.
Nah,
he said I would choose one. One of y'all was in his mind when he said I'm gonna choose one of these ones to jail.
One of y'all was not. One of y'all was not.
He just
one
said
of y'all was not.
I'm gonna send one sister to jail. So look.
All right. Either way, regardless though, we
y'all can figure out. Y'all can ask him, figure out which one.
Y'all can call me later. It's fine. I'll explain to both of y'all because he be chatting. All right, but anyways, that kind of brings us into today's topic. So we're gonna be talking about sort of finances, how we can spend our money the right way, sort of what the Bible says about money, ways to pursue it, just how to manage finances all in general a little bit. We got a little bit of topics here and there everywhere. I guess there's no really one. It's a little mix up. There's a lot of ways you can go with it. But the first thing I'd like to ask you though, Isaiah, is what does money mean to you? So like, where does it rank in terms of like your necessities or like things that you value in life? Or is it important? Is it something that you don't really care about?
It's honestly, as cliche as crazy it may sound, like people may say I'm just saying this for a soundbite or whatever, but money itself isn't that important. It's what money can do that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in, eons ago, when we were a lot more nomadic, in more caveman terms, providing is, being a quote unquote alpha male, fighting, going out hunting and providing for your family. And now money took over that role. So now you can provide your family secure based on how much money you have for the most part. That your money can determine your house, where you live, being able to pay for doctor's bills, might get sick, being able to take care of any type of random expenses. So for me, what does money mean to me? Money is just security and provision. That's a way I can provide, a way to, as they say, bring home the bacon. That's how I take care of mine and make sure they're straight because it's so vital in the government and the system that we have now. And then where's the rank of my values? I said, honestly, it's not that high, but knowing what it can do, the things that it can do are very high on my list. With like my family and taking care of them, make sure they're fed, make sure they're clothed, make sure they're safe, they're healthy. So I guess by default, it's kind of got to be high, but money itself, like, I think a lot of people forget, like, money is, I don't care about just having a whole bunch of just cash, because we're like, what am I going to do with cash? I have to take a picture, look cool with it.
Right.
It's not about the cash, it's about, okay, how can I use this to spend on my family and do things that we want to do things that people want to do, what they need to do. That's for me personally. What about you?
For me, I'd say money is pretty important. Like, it's not the most important thing on my list. Like, it's probably not top 3 top. I don't know. I don't got no specific like numbers ranking. I just know how I value it. Like you said, it's more about what money can do for me more than I actually like care about it. Just being able to provide for my family, for the people I care about. I like to be able to, know that I can take care of them if something were to happen, that something unforeseen could happen. Just to be able to know that like I can support us through whatever we got going on. So I say that in itself motivate me, not necessarily like the idea of money. I don't chase money. I kind of like it's comforting to know that all right, I'd be able to provide for my family, but it's not gonna be what get me out of the bed every day in the morning. It's not gonna be what like, bruh, I'm not like getting up like I'm not getting up for this job. They're not paying me enough. Like, because at the end, that's your job. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna work how you gotta work. But like money itself is important in terms of what it can do for you, but it's not important to me in terms of I can't live without it. So I'd say for me personally, I'm more like like in terms of money, I'm more driven by like the fact that it can provide instead of like just the fact of being driven for money itself in general. Like what it can do for us, the people you love, people you care about, or like even people you don't know. Like whether you just walking past someone that's homeless that need a quick dollar, you have enough to say you got like $1 now. Here's 10, here's 20. Go get a burger, go get a nice meal that you haven't had in a while. Like I feel like that's important in itself to be able to like share with others, not just keep it for yourself. I feel like that's the whole. I feel like that's really important in terms of like the whole concept of money. What
I think
about
it's
you?
something really key that you said about how it's about your intention at the end of the day. Like you
It
said,
is.
you don't wake up saying, "Oh, I got to get this money. I get this money." I think that's because a lot of people talk about the difference between having a love of money and just like wanting good for yourself. Like the Bible, people act like the Bible wants Christians just to be broke and not provide for ourselves. Like
Hmm.
God wants us to be good. He wants to take care of us. But
That's
He
right.
said the love of money is root of all evil. If you're waking up like, "Okay, I got to get this money. That's what I'm chasing." I think that's where you go wrong. That's the problem. When that's what's on your mind, when that's your driving factor, that's what you're chasing after, that's the problem. Now, if you're waking up like, "Okay, I gotta provide for my family, I gotta take care of this, take care of that," I think that's a little different because your motive is making sure your family's straight. It's not, "I just need to get as much money as possible just to have the money."
Okay.
I think that the real key is like I said, your mindset, your intention, and what that money is for. Are you chasing material things with this money? Are you chasing just money in general just to be able to say you have it, or are you actually truly just trying to provide and take care of you and yours?
That's a great point. Hey, my favorite artist, J. Cole. I hate the, but he said to quote him, "What's money without happiness? Hard times without the people you love." It's not. I know that's probably gonna sound real corny, especially watching it back, seeing myself. But I don't even care. Like jokes aside, that's really like that's true. Like money. I mean, despite what people say, money can bring happiness around you in terms of what it can do for you. But your happiness shouldn't come from yo. I got this amount much money in my bank account. Like I got this amount just like in finances and saving. Like that's not what should be. So I guess be like it should be what it can bring for you for the people that you love that are around you to get y'all through the hard times, through the ups and the downs, like or just to be able to enjoy each other's company, like in a nice way that families don't get to do often in general, like going on vacation or something like that. It shouldn't be the root of money itself, because if you chasing money in general by itself, you never gonna be satisfied. The quote, I don't got my phone on me like the quote something in the Bible, but it's a if you got it, I'd appreciate if you brought it up. But it's Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 10. And to me, this verse is like pretty important when it comes to just like
Got you,
pursuing
my brother.
like what you value. Thank you, Isaiah. So, verse says, "Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income, and this too is meaningless." So, like wealth, income, money, all these things never gonna satisfy you. Never gonna truly, fully be like okay with what you got. If money is the sort of like your pride was getting you up in the morning, why? Because you never gonna be able to have all the money in the world. There's nothing you gonna be able to do. Like you never gonna be like, I finally got this much money. Like if money's truly what you craving, like I finally got this amount of money. Now I can chill. You gonna now let me get more. Let me get. There's never gonna be enough to satisfy like our own greed when it comes to money and wealth. So like that also goes hand in hand with saying because I know we talked about this verse earlier today. Isaiah, you mentioned how like, you can't worship two things. You can't worship God and something else like money, for example. Like
Yeah, just be more specific on what he's talking about. He's referring to Matthew 6:24. I have it put up right here. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money.
exactly.
And it's key because God is, not of this world. We aren't of this world. He's, above it. We're just here and kind of we realm and deal with the world. And money has almost become the god of this world. Money is what quote unquote makes the world go around. That's what everybody's chasing after. As a people give and take. People are seen powerful because they have a whole bunch of money. So in a sense, like money's become the god of this world. So chasing and loving and devoting yourself to money is like now you're devoting to the god of this world. And if you're not for God, you're against him. So
Exactly.
you're either going to follow the god of this world or the actual one true god of everything. As it's really important to really make that difference. Not make that difference, but look at the difference in those things. Look at what you're truly chasing after, where your heart truly is. It also says in the Bible that wherever your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people.
Can you quote that for me if you got
Oh
it?
yeah, that's Matthew 6:21. Wherever your treasure is, your heart will be also. And another verse later, right before that, Matthew 6:20. But lay up yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. When earlier we said the idea of money can bring happiness, right? Some people say no, a lot of people say yes. But I think it's so much deeper than that. People look at everything as surface and face value, and think, okay, yeah, when you get money, you get happy. It's not necessarily you're happy because you have a green cloth in your hand. It's because you have the possibilities now to open up because of money. Money gives you
Mm-hmm.
freedom. Okay, now I am free to go and purchase a pair of shoes. I'm free to go give me this meal that I wanted that I couldn't do before. It's not the money that buys that gives you that happiness. It's the happiness of that freedom and that ability to do the things that you weren't able to do before.
Mm-hmm.
You feel almost empowered when you have money. The
Yeah.
same way when God pours out His Spirit, we are blessed and we are empowered. You know, the devil in this world can sometimes give out money and bless you and empower you and to work within this world. And I think it's really important that we decipher. Okay, what are we truly happy about? Because some
Yeah.
people, if you're truly priding yourself and only getting happy just because you have the money in your hands, just to say you have it, and it's like you said, like where are your treasures? Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you really basing yourself off of? You're not basing yourself on anything that's solid, any foundation. Money can come and go just like that. Anything can happen. You can get robbed. Like, something can happen with your bank. Your money can just go and disappear.
Scammers, they be they be out there. They gonna catch y'all like in one day. they
Exactly right.
they coming for
Like, and the fact that some of these can happen and money can
Yeah.
come and go, and like even the like when like think about it, money is a man-made construct to help our government go. Like we
Right.
told ourselves, okay, this is valued this much. Like it's something we're putting our own name and value on. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We can wake up tomorrow and the government can be like, you know what, $5 is no longer worth $5. It's worth $1 now, and then the entire market will be in shambles. You feel me? Like there's
Exactly.
people behind closed doors probably making decisions and talking about different ways of constituting money across the world, and like we have no control over it. And if you put your heart in that, your heart will be where your treasure is. So if your heart is somewhere where things can easily move, and that at the end of the day, when God comes back for all His people and His world is washed away and thrown into the lake of fire, then you'll be there. You'll be right there with it, because you'll be where your heart is. Like it says in the Bible, where your
Where your
treasure
heart.
is, your heart will be. So if you treasure money, and that's all you value and care about, and you put your heart in money, and that's what you value yourself in, then you'll go right along with it. You'll follow wherever it goes.
And keep in mind that money is not permanent. It's not everlasting. So eventually, money too shall perish. It's not going. We can't take it with us when we die. It's not going to be with us there in heaven. So put in your heart in the things of this earth. For example, money, because that's what we're talking about. It's not going to be everlasting. It's not sustainable when it comes to our everlasting life. It's not going to get us into heaven. We can't buy our way into heaven. It's put in your heart and what truly matters, which is God saying, yeah, like, all right, I got XYZ amount of money, but it's with the abilities that God blessed me with that I'm even able to, like, to earn this paycheck, to earn this amount of wealth, however much or how little it is, just God acknowledging that God has blessed us with it, with the skills that He has gifted us, not thinking that we can have got to this point on our own. So then I got a follow up question for you, Isaiah, because we was kind of just talking about healthy ways to like go after money, right? In terms of just like what to keep in mind. Well, I guess maybe when you're like looking for a job, so talking about the verses and all that. So when it comes to jobs in general, do you think you would rather have a high paying job that you don't necessarily like, or maybe like dread going to work for, or like a job that you love that like you could see yourself doing it for the rest of your life, but it don't pay that well, and you
Mm.
might be living paycheck to paycheck, or like maybe not paycheck to pay, but you're not gonna be as financially stable as you would be with the other job.
Definitely the latter. Because like you said, if it's a job I could do my entire life, I'd probably be fine living paycheck to paycheck. Like I think that's where that thing you value comes from. Like because we were just talking about it earlier. Like I'm not saying money's bad. Like there's nothing wrong with money. Like God wants us to be successful. Like if money is what we have to use to operate in this world, then that's what we have to use. Like there's a way God can use money to continue to progress His kingdom and make sure His will is done. But it's when that's your value and that's all you care about. That's where the problem comes in. Because I might be making a lot of money, but if I'm hating my job, my entire life is going down. Everything's being based off money, and that's not gonna bring me any satisfaction. I could I could probably work my way up, like to make this in a deeper aspect. If I have a low paying job that I love, I can mess around and work my way up over time to continue to work higher and get raises. Or if not, it's different. I'm happy and I'm getting money. It doesn't feel like a job to me at
Yeah,
that
that's
point.
true.
It's like I can then go pursue maybe a side hustle and do something else on the side, or just like I said, just enjoy life. Like my what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. I'm off the top of my head.
That's all
Like it's
good.
like my life enjoyment will be higher up. Like I'm gonna be
Hmm.
happy going, leaving to go to work, come back home and see my family, and like You know, it even talks about in the Bible when Jesus was tempted by Satan. One thing that Satan offered him was, "I will give you all the riches of this world, everything. You'll be the king of all the earth, you know, and all this if you just bow down to me." And Jesus told him back. That's also not a direct quote. I might be wrong, but it's something around that. And then Jesus replied back, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on word out of the every word spoken out of the mouth of God." You know,
Yeah.
we're not like God's gonna provide for us no matter what. That's as long as we have God's word, we'll have everything we need. Like it's been, I get stories in the Bible where like something's been made out of nothing. God's gonna provide at the end of the day. As long as I have my basic needs covered, that's all I need. I don't necessarily need a mansion. I don't need to be necessarily rich. Like it'd be nice to have nice things.
Right.
Like nobody's
Of
gonna die
course.
on nice things.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But do I need to have that? Is that a true desire, or do I just really want my people to be straight and just me be able to enjoy my life with my family? And that's
Yeah.
really important to me. Especially if I'm able to enjoy my job and continue to be happy in that space, my life will be all the merrier because of that.
Yeah. I agree with you honestly. Especially when it comes to low paying job. Like I like how you mentioned that like it's not even gonna feel like work, especially if you love the work regardless. But I said because you came up with this question in general, and I was kind of happy to read it because it sparked a memory that I had from back in high school. Because truthfully, I didn't always used to be this way. I was driven by money from a younger age. Like I was trying to do whatever I could just to get some money. Regardless of what it was. Like that's just what I was driven by. But, like one of my high school, Mr. Brown, actually taught me, and I kind of carried this with me. I think he told me this when I was like a sophomore. But he said, "Don't let your success be determined by how um much money you have." You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel like successful based off like what you have in terms of like financial wealth, right? He said, "Let your success be determined by how happy you are." You feel what I'm saying? Or don't let your happiness determine your success. Let your success be determined by how happy you are. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah.
So like, and what makes you happy? Like, I'd be happy with a job that I love, regardless of the pay, because it's not even gonna feel like work. That's what be. Let your success be determined by how happy you are. If you work in a job that you don't like, regardless of how much you gonna end up being miserable, you're gonna wake up dreading that job. You're like, you're not gonna be, you're not ready to go, regardless of the situation. You gotta be motivated by. I tried. I know spoke to this with my sisters a little while back. I hope they remember that. If not, I hope they watch this. But just like, don't let nothing let the world decide, because like we can get so caught up in the finer things, right? When it comes to money, like, oh, like they just went to like this place, you know what I'm saying, with all this amount of money. Like, look at them, they doing well for themselves. Like, we see what they post on the gram, like they going like out the country, like nice places, eating nice food. Like, they gotta be good, so you want to do the same thing. Like, most of that can be fake too. You feel what I'm saying? Like, people be saving up all they can just to do that, post a few pictures on Instagram, and never go back to that place again. You know what I mean? Because like it'd be like that. Like, let your happiness be determined by your happiness. Let your success be determined by how happy you are as well. Don't let nothing that the world values as what's like acceptable as the normal to control your own perspective of yourself and like your own thoughts of what you're doing. So like, don't let the money, how much money you make at a job, or like whatever you got going on at home. Don't You can still find happiness through those situations. Don't let what the world thinks your life is supposed to look like based off wealth determine none of that for you.
I'm about to even think about that aspect you brought up. Like there are people out there that'll give money just to go on a trip, go somewhere, to take pictures and tell people they went there. Like they had no real desire to go, but they're like, oh, everybody else goes there. Let me be able to say I went there as well, and to go there and just on their phone the entire time instead of actually enjoying the moment. Like it's different traveling to travel. Like when you do things should be done with a purpose, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, a lot of times as well, we get caught up in showing off and comparison for other people, and a lot of times that is kind of how we also get confused with money as well.
Yeah,
Like,
comparison is
like
the
yeah,
thief of joy.
yeah, comparison to thief of joy, right? So times we get confused with our really doing things for ourselves rather than other people.
Right.
Like I said, I think the same thing is done with money. A lot of times we get confused with our priorities and our needs with the idea of money because we use money to get that need. We place the emphasis on the money instead of the actual needs of things that we got to get done to be covered.
That's
I
right.
think that's a big um, just problem in the world today in general. And actually, I have a similar situation to this question. Like I used to, be in college. I would work a different job every summer, being a college athlete throughout this regular school year. And one summer, I worked Amazon. I was an Amazon worker, making around like I think 18 or 19 an hour. good money. I couldn't stand it. I hated that
Mm-hmm.
job every
Yeah,
single
I've had
day.
some jobs like
I
that
was
too.
like, yo, I can't stand this. But then the next year, I take like $5, $6 pay cut, making like 13, 14 an hour. Whereas a camp counselor, it's interacting with those people and interacting with those kids and just having fun and being in that moment was so much better. I would take that every summer rather than the other.
Hmm.
Every single day. Like I'd go back to Amazon anytime, but I like knowing what that did for me and how my mental was in that aspect. Like, I mean, you feel good when you get that paycheck, but then as soon as you start to get down with it, you got to go to work the next day, and now you're like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I can relate to that. I remember my summer going into, I think it was my sophomore, junior year of college. I was working on roofs, like physically taking off shingles, putting shingles on, like in the blazing heat, the hot. I was working 9 to 5 every Monday through Friday through the summer. Like I hated it. Like yeah, the paycheck was nice. Like I was getting enough money. Like that part was fun, but I missed out on like just so much more throughout the summer too. Just like stuff I couldn't do just because like I was working and it wasn't even like a job I enjoyed. It was just I was stuck on the roofs, burning hot. I remember this is like so off topic, but like because we was talking the other day about snakes, man. There was a time I had to clean out a gutter. I'm climbing up on the ladder to get up there, bro. I'm staring eye to eye with like a 6 foot like black snake, and snakes my number one. And I don't like snakes at all, bro. Like that's just like that's just I'm saying like it's a job you don't like,
I'd be
but
gone that day. I'd have fell, messed.
I
I'd have
almost
something.
did, but there's a lot more to that story, but I'm not gonna get into it right now. I like to pick it up a little bit more, change the tempo. So, you want to introduce the game again, or you want me to
I'll introduce it.
go
So we're
ahead?
about to take a quick break from the main topic and bring up a little segment we call "Pick Up and Preach." We've done the last couple episodes. We're also looking for some new games, some new ways to change things up. But this has been fun for us. So we're going to try it one more time for episode 3. We have our man Salem behind the camera, the man with the plan, and he has 2 random items in Alex's book bag. And whatever item we're gonna do rock paper scissors shoot. Best 2 out of 3 for who goes first. Then he'll give one of us an item, pick it up. Nothing too crazy, maybe like anywhere from 2 to like 4 or 5 minutes. Pick up the item.
4 or 5. I don't know if we got 4 or 5 with
I must
today.
say maybe
I'm
not
not
four
gonna
or
lie.
five.
I grabbed anything out my room, just like grab it. Today might be rough for the both of us.
Okay, so then it might be a nice little
30 seconds.
30 seconds,
We
1 to
gonna
3 minutes.
see.
Just use whatever item it is and
All right.
preach about it.
So,
Some kind of aspect of
Wasalem.
God and all that and everything. So
Yeah. We gon' let's rock paper scissors. Best 2 out of 3.
let's
Winner decide who go first.
Let's get it.
Rock paper scissors shoot. Rock paper scissors shoot. That is highly unfortunate. That is highly so. I'm going first again. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh brother.
So Alex is going first.
And I've been handed my room key. So
Talk to me, Pastor.
I'm gonna need a second.
Like
Truly,
truly,
yeah.
This
This is
completely raw and uncut. Like we don't know about these items at all. So it was a little shaky. It was a little weird. Just give it a second at first. And we are no passive by enemies either. This is just a little something fun. We like to do. Try to find as many ways to show God in life as we can. Pretty much.
All right, I believe I'm ready, church.
Come on now, Pastor.
Here we go. Y'all gonna have to stay patient now. Let me take my time with it. So life has a lot of opportunities, It can be hard to navigate what is for us, what's not for us, who's with us, who's against us, who truly has our back.
That's fact.
The only one who truly knows the answer to all of these questions, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Y'all know it.
So you see, sometimes when you get into situations in life, you don't know what your next step is. You don't know where you're supposed to go. You don't know what God wants from you. You got to pray. You got to talk to him. Say, God, please make your will present in my life. I need you to open some doors for me. I need you to close the doors for me that's not there. Open doors that I don't see. Closed doors are the people that really don't got my best intentions at heart. Now, I got to be honest with you, church. Sometimes you're not always going to be happy with the doors that close. And you might be real surprised with the door that opened. But at the end of the day, you cannot question the man who has the key. See, now, compared to this key just opens my dorm room, right?
can't question the man that has the key.
You cannot. So you see, this key is something small, truthfully insignificant in the grand scheme of things, right? Besides the fact that it opens and locks my door. God has the key to everything. There's nothing that he don't know. There's nothing that he cannot provide. He is the master of the doors. He knows what doors to open and what doors to close.
The master has the master key.
The master has the master key. Woo. One key opens all doors. One key can open many locks. That's a great key. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes you really got to pray. Say, God, please provide me with your wisdom and knowledge. Please bless me with your will. Make your will present in my life. Open the doors that I need open to be a better person and align my heart with your will, what you want for me. Please close the doors that's going to drag me away from your purpose. Close the doors from the people that not going to ultimately bring me to who you are. And sometimes, like I said earlier, church, you're not always going to like the doors that close. You know, it could really be anything. But ultimately, though, like we said, God knows all. He has the key to every door. So if he locked a door that you really cared about out of your life, church, it was for a reason. And I promise you, just pray, talk to him, and you'll be able to find comfort in that fact. Knowing, hey, this is what I pray for. This is what God wants for me. So even though these doors are closing, God was the one with the key. He was the one that locked the door. So it wasn't for me. But guess what? He just opened this one. So I'm going to be a child of God, and I'm going to go see what opportunities he has for me over here. Amen.
Yes, sir. Hey, I like that. Talking about the keys. And next up, oh my goodness.
He got the remote to my TV.
Why did you have your TV remote in your book bag? What were you doing?
I told you, bro, I was just grabbing anything I seen. There's probably like another 4 or 5 things in there that we just, yeah.
Wow. A TV remote.
TV
remote.
Accesses many channels.
Access many channels.
Turns it on and off.
Yeah. Turns it on and off. Change the volume.
The input too.
Change the input. TV.
You can go to the guide, the menu. A lot of settings.
It's interesting. TV controller. Wow, this kind of stumped me a little bit. TV controller, right? One thing that's interesting about the TV controller is the channels on the TV never change. What's shown on the TV itself doesn't change. But we have the idea, we have the ability through this controller, or the controller allows us to change what we see out of the TV and how we see the TV.
Okay.
There's good on the TV and there's bad on TV. But this controller is what gives you the ability to see the good or bad, and what allows you to filter out what it should and shouldn't be seen. What do you do when you don't see it on TV, right?
Take
so
your
in a lot
time
of ways, the television is like is our vision. It's the way we see, what we see out in the world, based off your controller and your ability with this controller. It can help you filter out the good and bad. Help you change the channel when you look at something bad, or change the channel to something else good.
That's right. That's right.
So a lot of ways, the Holy Spirit is our controller.
Oh, talk to him, Brother Zay. Talk to him.
You know, the Holy Spirit is how we change what we see for good or for bad. And what's interesting about this controller is the controller works out of location. The closer to the TV, the better reception.
That's very true.
If I press the power button right here, your TV is unaffected.
That's right.
But if I bring the controller or the remote control, if this is your TV and I bring it here, there's no option but to change.
But to turn on. That's right.
The closer we bring the Holy Spirit and God to our vision and to our lives and to what we see, the more control we allow God to have over what we see. The more we allow God to change and decipher how we see things, what information we take in, and how we communicate.
That's good.
And then on top of all that, in order for a controller to work, there's something on the back of this controller that's going to open it up. You need batteries.
That's right.
Batteries provide power.
And they do.
Mhm. You have to decide. You have to manually put in not just any battery, but the right batteries for that controller for it to work.
Brother, what are the right batteries?
So in this instance, we have to give God our valuable and quality time. We have to give our energy and give, like I said, our time, our energy, and our focus to God and to the Holy Spirit, so that we can allow, and then put it close to our lives, involve it with our lives, so that we can allow Him to change and alter how and what we see.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's about all I could do right there. This was.
It's all right.
That,
Yeah,
this,
that was
this,
a. Hey,
this was
these were
tough.
some shots in the dark. I ain't gonna lie.
That was, like I said, Mindy chilling us. You know, this is completely random. We ain't know nothing about these topics beforehand or these items beforehand. So
We did good though. We
Yeah.
did good. All right. So let's get back into it though. So we was talking a little bit earlier about money, financial stuff, but like we haven't really necessarily talked about how we've given them some advice, but maybe we can share on our own, like from our own experiences. So do you have any tips, or like do you want to suggest in ways that you have managed your own finances? Maybe like enlighten some people. Like if you have any tips, tricks, kind of thing, or like how do you do it in general?
For me personally, I'm really big on discipline, and that is kind of key. And for me, I have different accounts.
Okay.
You know, you have your savings, your check-ins, and I typically have another account. Well, I have another account with interest on it. I just put some money in. I just let it sit. I don't even look at it. You know. But whenever I get my paycheck, I always divide it with my needs, right? So for one, 10% is being tithed, right? To whatever church I'm attending at that time. If I'm a member at a church, I think it's important to give your 10% in tithe to the church. That's for sure. Usually around 10 to 11, 12%. The other rest for offering. Then after that, I take 40%, well 50%, half, and put in my savings instantly. Savings is just there, you know, whether I'm actually saving for something or just to have like in case of emergencies. Something happens, I have money right there just to put in there, boom. Then the rest of that money is decided between bills, whatever I got to pay, got going on, and then the rest I use for the week. So sometimes it's going to be some slow weeks. Sometimes I can't always go out and do what I got to do. But if I operate in that way and I create those different accounts where, okay, this money's for this, and I put the money out immediately, it's one thing, you know, to try to, you know, you saving up, waiting to get your paycheck, you spend on something, okay, now let me try to delegate the rest of it. Immediately plan out, okay, how much I'm going to get paid. Boom. Let's write down what percentage is this money, what percentage is this money, what percentage is this. Like I said, that's how I work. That's how I can operate. Some people might need a little more in their check-ins. Some people might need more in their savings. You know, some people, you might have other bills and other things you have to take care of that you might have to decipher. But the key about anything is a plan, right? I'm a big planner. Put it out there. Okay, lay it out. I'm gonna make this much. This is going here. That's going here. That's going here. As soon as the money touches your account, instantly disperse it and live off that. That checking account is the only account you should be looking on day to day. You should be okay. Day to day, don't want to go out to eat. Let me look at my checking account. What do I have until next time I get paid? Do I want to get this food? Do I want to buy these clothes? Can I hang out? Can I do that real quick? That's what checking account is for. Then, like I said, when those emergencies or those bills ever pops up, you go to other accounts only if necessary. That's the person that helps me. Like I said, one key thing that's helped me as well though is tithing. Like it might sound crazy, but giving that 10% to church and to God, like I swear everything else falls into place. It makes it so much easier. Like you would think, you know, holding on to all your money, like okay, you'll be able to use more of it. You'll be better, kind of, you know, hanging out from week to week. But I promise you, God finds a way. God provides. There's a reason why we tithe. You know, aside from the fact that God tells us to,
right?
You know, for one. But two is like people think, you know, tithing, you're just giving money to the pastor, but like the church is still a building. Like the church, you have to pay, you know, whatever dues you have to do in the church, whether you have to pay rent or you're paying it off the building. You got to pay for the lights. You got to pay for all things to go on within the church. It's literally keeping up the house of God. It's on us to keep up the house of God, you know. On top of that, and on top of just sowing a seed into God's house. We're sowing a seed into God's house. God's gonna grow it and give it back to us in some form of way. It might not be in money, but there's gonna be a blessing that comes back to you because of that. Just from you being obedient to God, you know. Because at the end of the day, He's God, and we should be obedient to Him, even if we weren't to get a blessing back. If we weren't to get something back. He's still God, and if we're gonna have faith in Him, believe in Him, keeping up His house should be an important on our rankings, and we should want to be obedient to Him just because He's God.
That's it. Honestly, and I like how you brought that up because at my church, kind of the focus in 2024 is we're trying to eliminate debt, right? So yeah, some of it goes into like financially, like paying the church a little bit, like whether it's donations stuff like that. Like you said, like everyone's gonna be different based off their own income and like what they can and can't share, right? Like everyone's 10% is different, but the main goal is like we all like it's staying anonymous so that nobody really got to know like like everyone's business like that deeply, but it's all in like an Excel file. We all working towards like okay, like this is how much I got to pay. Let's do all I can to eliminate this like this year. Let's get rid of this by this month. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we all everybody being able to hold each other accountable based off what they got going on in the church, being able to help out too. So like donations, their church being able to okay. We see this, you almost done. Maybe you need like that's like too much help here. Boom, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Now you can get rid of it, and now you can go pay one debt that you got up. Like it's different for everybody, but just like that's kind of just to speak on how like paying the church. Well, like, paying the church sounds like I feel like that's the wrong term. Not, but like giving money to the church, donating money to the church. That sounds that like that's just a way like that money can help in general. Because I know sometimes people do be scared like, bro, I don't know what they doing on the side. Like I'm not gonna give them my money. Like that helps too. Like like money provides. Don't worship it. Don't like worship as a false idol. Like fall victim to saying, oh, like money is everything, but money helps out tremendously. For me, when it comes to managing my own finances, though, uh, truthfully, like it's been hard for me throughout college. I'm a college, you know what I'm saying. I for the past 4 years, I probably only had a job like 3 months out of the year. You know what I'm saying. So like income isn't necessarily like steady for me. So what I try and do is paycheck to paycheck, I try and go like 80 to savings, 20 to checking. If not, I try and spend more to like it just depends on what I might need for the week. And then true like from there, like once the income stop, it's okay, boom. Like how can we thug it out till the next job comes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how do they make it last?
How do we make it last, right? But like that's jokes aside because it's hard as a college student. But my understanding has always been like, okay, so now I know I got this much amount of money into my savings. Like this is what I got for the next semester, like going into something whatever it is for the school year. I leave it all in the savings. I take it out from my savings as needed based off. Okay, maybe I need some groceries. Maybe I just need to get some food, like this, that, the third, like whatever. Like I try hard to stop myself from splurging right on the essential things. Like okay, I know I'm gonna need $40 for groceries this week. I know my friends and I are probably gonna go one out to go eat because there's a game on next weekend. So like keeping that stuff in mind. Okay, split there, split there. Like it really helps me. Like kind of as okay, do I really need to go get this like extra like hoodie from Walmart or something? Do I really need to go buy these pair of shoes that I want when I know like it helps me keep track of like because every time I gotta transfer it from my savings to my checking. So I'm seeing how much I'm moving. Like all right, so now I'm also seeing how much is gonna be left in my savings. Like is that really a necessity purchase?
I think it's key that you bring it up because, like we said earlier, like it's no problem with having money or wanting nice things. It's just when you obsess over that, like we shouldn't be overly greedy where we feel the need to just hoarding all this money and not give and like not either help people out with that money or just not be able to take care of our own needs or other people's needs in our family members. We're called to love our neighbor as ourselves, and you know, and also God talks about how it's so hard for a rich man to enter heaven just because of you to of much, who much is given, much is required. The more money you have, the more responsibilities you have, the more you're able to do.
Yeah, that makes me think of the one story in the Bible. Gosh, I wish I could remember where. I want to get to the point where I can just know where they at, like bar for bar, word for word. But in this story, it was
I'm trying to get to
a
that
man, and an elderly lady. They were both talking to Jesus. It was, and like I don't know if it was either they both made a donation or if like the man was just asking, what do I got to give to go into heaven, right? Because I don't want to get my stories confused. But the moral of the story was the sacrifice that the poor elderly woman made, right? She gave him, let's say the rich man gave him like $35, but she only gave him like $3.
That's a different story.
She gave him the last $3 that she had. You feel what I'm saying? So ultimately, her sacrifice, her donation was valued more because that was the last $3 she had. That man had, I don't know, he was rich to them, so he had thousands, hundreds, like thousands of more, so that much more money he could have given, but he only shared a small little portion. But she was in such of a struggle on her own. Like she only had those $3 to her name, but she was still willing to give those $3 up to help somebody else out who also might need it more.
I'm at the end. I think it was It was like 10. It was I forgot what
the numerical value. Yeah,
they both had gave 10. The man had 100. He gave 10, and she gave her last 10. Yeah, like, and it's important because the other story I remember the other story you're talking about where there's the rich man. He said, "What can I do to get into heaven?" And Jesus said, "Drop everything and follow me. All your riches, all your money, leave that and follow me." And he walked away, and he was shook for a second because, like the woman, woman, she sacrificed everything to follow Jesus. That's what we're called to do. We're called to sacrifice, give everything in this world, crucify our flesh every single day to pick up our cross and follow Jesus.
That's
so
right.
If we keep storing our treasure and keep worrying about making money, now we're putting our heart here. That's what we care about. It's gonna be that much harder. It's like, okay, are you willing to give up all that truly for God? Because that's clearly what you're putting your focus, your value, and all your care into. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true. Yeah. So what's it called? So I didn't mean to cut you off or anything, but I kind of want to get into another question just because I brought it up a little bit in the last little rant I went on, but kind of want to go into splurging because it can be like it's nice to have nice things in this world. Got a lot of nice things. So like, is there anything that you tend to splurge on, or like got to stop yourself from splurging on, or like what do you know? What are your limits to that, or
it's like it's just levels like like to the point where you're being like greedy, or to the point where like okay, you can do a little like something for yourself.
It's always nice to treat yourself here and there,
Yeah, but just to the point where your heart, that's what your value is. That's all you care about. Like I said, that's what you're chasing after. That's what you need. Like you feel the need to have that, and that's what you're chasing. Then that's the problem. But like I said, everybody splurges. Like once you have that little check-in account, like that last little bit of check-ins, you can do whatever you do with that. Like talk about mine. So my biggest problem for me personally is probably food. I ain't gonna lie. Like
hey, that's a good thing to have a trip. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to. I understand.
Yeah, like
I get
bro,
it. I get it.
Like just chilling around. I might have food at home, but I'm like, ooh, Popeye sounds good right about now. You know what I'm saying? I might go get chicken sandwich or something like that, or Chick-fil-A, or maybe I'm feeling pizza tonight. Let me get some Papa John's. That's probably my biggest problem between just getting food, going out and getting food in general, and then yeah, honestly, probably that. I shop every here and there, but I'm not too big on fashion. I do think I want to get bigger into like expanding my closet a little bit, but even then, I don't see myself being much of a shopper. I'm more of just really spending money on food I don't have to, or like spending excess money on food all the time.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, food could be tough too, but normally I don't go. I don't really like treat myself to food unless I'm asked like, hey, you want to go out? In that case, then boom, maybe I might. For me, my biggest thing is probably clothes, but not all clothes specifically. Hoodies and then shoes. So like, I feel like if you see me walking around campus or like just in general, I like 95% of the time I got a hoodie on regardless of the weather. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like what I do. I love wearing like hoodies. Like they comfortable to me. So like it'd be hard for me to just like, bro, that hoodie's tough. Like I want to put it on. Just like, hey, that looks comfortable. I want to wear it. It's like that's probably because more so than shoes. Because shoes is bread, especially like the Jordans. Because that's what I like to wear the most. Like, and my foot's at like 12 and a half. So no shoe is cheap. It's hard to find a cheap shoe at size 12 and a half, right? So like as bad as I want shoes, like I don't necessarily splurge on, like I'll splurge on hoodies. I don't even know how many hoodies I got in my closet right now. Like it's too much. I get to the point like I hand it down to my sisters because it's like I got too many hoodies to just like wear. So like that's definitely the issue. There'll be times like I like the hoodie a lot. I'm about to get it and then maybe wear it twice just because I got so many other hoodies. Like but like that's definitely my number one hoodies like, easily.
It's time I'll see something. I'm like, ooh, I might have to grab that. Or I'll just put like on my save to what, like save for later.
Yeah.
I'll look back at it later and buy it. But I think I've just been thinking about that I splurge on a lot is just like anything that involves like people. Like me and my friend back home got this thing where it's like can't put a price on memories.
That's true.
That's
very true.
If people be like, oh, let's go out to eat, all that, I might not. I'm like, you know what? I'll worry about it later. I ain't gonna put a price on you. Feel me? The biggest thing, as a lot of guys know, like playing the game with my guys, 2K or Madden come out, gotta get the right build, gotta max out your player, like video games, things like that.
Gotta get the what's it called, the edition, get 100,000 BC.
Yeah, exactly. You already know.
The Legend edition.
Yeah, so things like that involve like other people. Like I said, I probably could be a little more disciplined in that aspect, but like I said, I'm a big, you can't put a price on memory, stuff like that. So
that's very true.
That's also a big problem of mine. But it's been good. Just to wrap it up, one final question for you, or one final question for both of us to kind of answer. I'm gonna start with you first.
Okay.
So, in your knowledge, in your life, what have you come to know? Like, what is a good way that we can manage finances in a smart way according to the word? So we kind of talked about it earlier. How do you manage your finances? But is there a way we can do it in the word terms? I know for me personally, there's a verse that kind of encapsulates this whole entire idea to me, and it's Luke 20 from verses 21 to 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, before this, right, the Pharisees, as usual, they trying Jesus, trying to catch him slipping,
Of course, yeah.
trying to trick him up in a question, but Jesus always on point, always. And there was a specific answer that really opened up my mind when I first read it. So, verse 21, it starts. So they asked him, "Teacher, we know that you speak and teach rightly, and show no partiality, but truly teach the way of God. Is it lawful for us to give tribute to Caesar or not?" But he perceived them, their own craftiness, and said to them, "Show me a denarius." Sorry if I said that wrong. "Whose likeness and inscription does it have?" They said, "Caesar's." He said to them, "Then render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's."
Mm.
And for me, that's such a deep and powerful message. You know, all of our money, has precedence on it or some order type of governmental figure. So when it comes to that, give that to the government. If our money is used to make the government go round or it comes from those people, give it back to them. Pay your taxes, do whatever you got to do to work on the government. But when it comes to what is God's, we are God's. We are God's creation. God created the materials to make money, but money is a man-made construct, something that man used to kind of find his way to operate around this world. What did God create? God created us. He created our hearts, our mind, our souls. He gave us our abilities, our talents.
He did.
Those things that truly matter and that truly make us up, and truly matter at the end of the day, those are things that God created. So,
Yeah.
for one, like I said, it's key to, whenever it comes to money, like, make do with what it is in terms of government, but leave it at that. Don't make that your identity. Don't make it bigger than what it is. Don't get so caught up in the money that you give your heart and your all into it and your soul into those things.
Yeah.
Continue to give God what is God's. The blessings and the ability that God gives you, give it back, pay tribute back to Him. When it comes to money and all those things, like, let it serve its purpose, but nothing more. It's nothing but a piece of cloth, a material that we've given value to that allows us to get other materials. It's a way of trade, a way of getting other goods. Leave that be, but make sure to keep and continue to put what's God's is as God's and put that above everything else. What about you?
That's beautiful. I would say for me, like when it comes to managing finances, to be true, like the words that I pay attention to, we all kind of mentioned earlier, but most specifically would be the one where it's where your heart, like where your heart lies in treasure. Can you bring it back up for me again?
Yeah,
I'm
got
sorry.
you.
It was
So yeah. So back to back, we have Matthew 6:9. I'm gonna go 6:19 to 21. "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up your treasures for yourself, treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also."
exactly where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So, me personally, I try and never let myself get too caught up in money. But like all everything we say, like I still never try and let myself be like driven by how much or how little I have in my bank account. But with that being said, when it comes to managing, I mean I haven't really gotten into like student loans and paying stuff back, but whenever stuff comes up, I always do my best to take care of like the top priorities first. So like whether like how you talking about earlier with taxes with the government, maybe you got some bills you got to pay just for family, or like let's say you just went to the hospital, you got a little thing you got to pay. I always try and take care of like the necessities, the priorities first, and then let everything else like trickle down or work itself out. That's just kind of how I've been, and like don't let myself get too caught up in, oh, like I gotta have this much amount of money so that I can pay all these things. And now continue to pray to God, continue to work, uh, do like use the tools that He's blessed me with to be able to provide for myself, and like He'll take care of the rest. So like find my treasure and like heart in heaven, knowing that God will provide for me the things that like I might not see right now. Like for me, I'm a college student. Like I'm still working like an internship right now. I don't got no full-time job. Like I was like right now I don't know the future. I have no clue how I'm about to pay off my like college debt. But like what it starts with is just relaxing, knowing that okay, like I know it's not gonna be solved all at once. It's gonna take years. It's gonna take a payment plan.
Patience is a key virtue.
It is.
Very key virtue.
And so just knowing, okay, we gotta do whatever we can, like Break down, pay the essentials. Like make sure, just take care of it one step at a time. If I can put more in than like what's required, like if I'm paying monthly, say I got to pay $200 a month. One day maybe, or 1 month maybe I can pay 250, or 1 month I can get 300 in, just because just like trying thinking that way, but take care of what is most like the top priority, what is most important at the time. Like everything else kind of work its way out, because then at that point, like, because we was talking about splurging, if I couldn't go buy like 4 hoodies and expect myself to be able to pay off all the loans, all the debt that I might be in coming out of college, so like I gotta be smart, gotta say, all right, because like hoodie, that's not essential. I already got enough. I gotta pay these things off. I gotta pay off that doctor bill. I gotta pay off my car loans, like this, that, and the third. So like it's really just taking care of the important things first, and really having self discipline in order to keep yourself straight.
Yeah, discipline is key. And just to finish it off, I think it's just key in general just to know that there should be no extremes when it comes to any situation. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
about having a perfect right balance. That's all God preaches, a perfect right balance.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be okay. I gotta get this money, so love and money. But on the flip side, we haven't really talked about either. You also shouldn't just be completely lazy and just be like, oh, love, money doesn't matter. Let me just sit back. Because in Proverbs also speaks. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 9 to 11. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man.
Like a thief in the night.
Yeah. So it's like there has to be a perfect balance. You must be. There's things that as men, just as people in general, we have to get done. You have to take care of what you need, or like I said, poverty will come upon you. At the end of the day, God still gave us free will. So if you don't do anything and you don't work, you're probably gonna end up falling into poverty. You still have to go out and get yours and get what you need to do. But when you put all your pride and all your heart into that, and all you care about is money, those material things, that's what the problem is. It's perfectly fine to want to provide, or to at least to want to have money for certain things, but your true heart and your intentions are what truly matter at the end of the day. You know, take over what you need to take care of, and trust in God to handle the rest. And just do what you got to do.
Very true. So that just about wraps it up for us today. I hope you guys were able to take away something to bring home and just bring it to your own personal lives, regardless of what the topic was. It's all right. So this has been I.A Christianated. This was episode 3. Thank you for sticking with us to the end. If you made it, we're gonna plug our social media down below in case you guys want to reach out. If there's anything you want us to talk about or just get to know in general, advice, anything, you can always reach out to us. And one more time, special shout out to our boy Salem behind the camera, for doing the stuff that you guys don't see, all the editing and everything like that. So
Yeah.
really appreciate him. And I don't know anything you gotta say, but
Hey, that's all I had to say, bro.
all right, cool then. Love you guys. See y'all later.